Hey, Vertigo Nation, this is your host, Sean, and merch is coming. That's right, we've got merch coming from Two Broke Moms in Pulaski, New York. You'll find them right next to the Dollar General. And if you're looking for a custom design or maybe a t-shirt, or maybe you want to just check out the store in general, see what they've got for art supplies, craft supplies, and that kind of thing, you got to get there. I am telling you, Two Broke Moms, Pulaski, New York, right next to the Dollar General. Get over there, check it out, and see what they can do for you.
Old school. He looks like a radio. Yeah, I say that every one of my. I think I mentioned that. Like when I got the headset on, I'm in the zone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Vertigo. Numbers are growing every week. I am so proud of that and so thankful to everybody who listens in. And the best, I don't even know what the word is, the best... just tell somebody about the fucking thing. That's all I want you to do. Just tell somebody about Vertigo because you're enjoying it. And then, they'll pass that along and the numbers will continue to grow. And I'm going to stay behind the mic for a little bit longer. So, moving on, I've got a guest with me today who I am very proud to have sitting across the table. We worked together at Fulton Companies for a little while, so that's how initially I met him. And I'm going to introduce you to him right now. Andy Carter is on the mic.
Thanks,
Tell me a little bit about yourself real quick. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, you talked me up too much. That's what we did there.
Well, no, that's not true. So I heard a couple of things, man. So when I first met you, I bring up that we were talking at Fulton, and I just remember always having like good conversation. You know what I mean? It was just always fun when you could take a quick break and just be able to have a story, whatever, right? But I've learned some things in recent that I didn't know about. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. How does one? First of all, I heard that maybe you have a criminal record.
Oh, okay. We're going that dark?
No.
I gotcha.
How does one become the Grinch?
Yeah, so
and his criminal record is the Grinch, listeners. Okay, he's not.
Yeah. As far as you know. Anyways, So the Grinch. No, so I have two kids, both young. They're 11 and 8, and I've had the Grinch costume for a while, but it actually started as a costume party, I think, when I met my girlfriend. She went as Cindy Lou Who, so I went as a Grinch. So that's initially why I bought it all. But it's quickly spiraled from there because I make Christmas a really big thing at our house. So it quickly spiraled from there to where I wore it hanging up the Christmas decorations at the house.
Really?
Yeah, I have photos of that. I'll have to show you that. That's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we put those up on the Vertigo Facebook?
Yeah. Okay. So, and then I do a lot of work with like the school, and I have friends that they run the parent teacher group there and stuff, and they asked me because they saw the pictures on Facebook and. How could you say no to being the Grinch and stealing Christmas during a fundraiser, right?
Right. Okay.
But they did a really good job. They got the town police involved and the state police.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And no, they did a really great job. The kids loved it. I got hit with so many snowballs and ice bricks.
No.
Yes, dude. These kids are like, I don't ever want to be the Grinch there, that's for sure. Like, they're ruthless. Mine are the worst because they knew it was me.
Yeah.
They'd sneak up behind me. So you can't see anything in that mask either, so that doesn't help.
All right, so let's back up. We got to back up a little bit. So, all right, so you got the Grinch costume, and then so what did you have to do? Because I missed the whole event, right? So what was it that you had to do? So they asked you to be the Grinch for the town of Pulaski.
Yeah, because it was like the Light Up Pulaski, but they were doing like a fundraiser for the school there for the parent teacher.
I gotcha.
So and they asked me to do a meet and greet, maybe some pictures, show up, and then steal Christmas, more or less.
Okay.
So that's all it was. So her name's Alexis. She's great. She helps out the community so much, and she put it all together. So I mean, I just had to show up. I had the easy job as a Grinch, but like planning all that, like that's nuts too. So yeah, no. So I did that. It was fun. It was fun, awesome. Dude. No, yeah, and it's great. Like my kids love it, so I knew like I couldn't say no. You know what I mean? Because like I do that stuff at home all the time. They get all amped up. Before it was like my son, because he was like really young. He was like 3 or 4 when I first got it.
Okay.
I've had that mask for a while now.
Holy cow.
He was actually scared of it. So my daughter would take it and like scare him with it. I was like, okay, well, we got to draw a line somewhere here. You know what I mean? Because like to him, it's real. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, like, so that's where it started. And then I would, I think last year, I wore it hanging up. I'm big into Christmas. I try to be. I think it's not something I grew up with, so I try and like put that onto the kids. So I think it's important. Cool. I think obviously Christmas has so many meanings to different people, but I think just trying to be happy, especially where we live. Like it is so depressing here. I mean, you know, the feet of snow, sun doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're right.
It's great to set it's like setting milestones. It's something I look forward to in the middle of winter. So I was hanging Christmas decorations, and my girlfriend caught a picture of it and posted it online, and everyone freaked out. And I think I also did like a shoot to where I like laid sexy on my car one time too as Christmas lights. Yeah, I'll have to get these photos to you.
Yeah, you got it, dude, because we got to share these.
No,
on
it's
social
great.
media.
Yeah, no, it's so yeah, so it was out there, and then you know they just grabbed it and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I couldn't say no. So,
dude, that's so cool. Yeah. So I just learned about this. So Minna was the one that was telling me, because so when we booked this, I was excited, you know, and I know, you know, Andy from Fulton, man. So, you know, we'll get on the mic, we'll shoot the shit and whatnot. And then, so she brought it to my attention first, which I did hear something about it. So it wasn't like I'm not under a rock. I had heard something about it, but never really.
Yeah, social media, you know what I mean? I know you were missing out on that.
I know.
So I get it. There's, you know what I mean? But, like, also, it wasn't just put out there. Like, I shared it, but I didn't say I was a Grinch either. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so, like.
Was it meant to be a secret?
Not really. Like, the issue with social media is, like, kids at 11 or 12 might actually see that online. Right. So, like, I don't want to say be careful, but like I was thinking consciously, because like I know kids that are my daughter's age that have a Facebook. It's like I don't want to make it weird, like, because I sub at the school and stuff like that, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like yes, I want them to know that I'm like charismatic and stuff, but like I don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like play and work. Like it's tough. Like especially, so I don't know how teachers do it. Like keeping their Facebooks that private, it's got to be tough, man.
No, it's crazy. I'm not gonna actually give away names only because of protecting.
Yep.
But I have a son that lives in Illinois, and he had so full disclosure, I have had no social media really at all until Vertigo. Good. And then if anyone listened to the social media kind of debate that Min and I were having on the mic talking about social media. Thanks, man. Yeah. I kind of caved because I knew that if Vertigo wanted to take a step, I needed to do it, right?
I know, right? It's like buying a cell phone when you were 80 years old, right? Like you gotta
you gotta come up to the times.
It's a fact of life, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, as IT, like we don't have to go over that whole podcast again, but there's ways to do it correctly.
Right. So. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. So anyway, the point of me bringing that up is my son had reached out to me, but I didn't recognize the name, right? Because he had changed his name. So I'm like, whose account is this? And then when we started looking at the pictures, I was like, oh,
that's crazy.
And again, the reason I'm not bringing up any names into this is because he's in the police academy, and so the whole reason for him having this Facebook with a whole another name is to keep his identity safe, because he's obviously going to be
I have a friend like that, and I know a lot of them use like their middle name. I know that's a big thing with teachers and police officers, and even like people in the military. Like,
That's a good point too.
because I know like a lot of my like sergeant majors and stuff like that in the military, like
Yep.
because they don't, you know what I mean? They don't want the lower enlisted to, they don't want private. Same idea, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you have to be kind of sneaky, I guess. Is
Yeah.
the word
Well, there's a
with how
line you
your
got to
name
toe, I
is
think,
there.
too.
Yeah. So, yep. So that was fun. Thanks
Yeah,
for
it
bringing
was
me back a couple months.
I know.
Back to
man.
Christmas, man.
I know. Well, and it's crazy. We're only in February, but the winter's been long here in Pulaski this year.
It's been tough, dude.
Yeah, it's been
tough.
It's
I
been
grew up like on the hill. Like when they say Tuck Hill, I mean like Orwell, like on the hill,
okay.
like 300 inches a year.
Yeah.
I don't like. I wasn't prepared for this, man. Like it's just because haven't had a winter in years.
I
Like,
know.
It's exhausting physically, mentally.
It takes a
Especially
toll
doing
on you.
the work I'm doing this year is just tough, man.
Right.
It just is. So, but we'll get through it.
It is, man. I know. No, it's hard because every winter. Well, I can't say that because again, the last couple of seasons really haven't been too bad. I think the hardest part for me is the how early it gets dark. I think is the hardest part. I notice for sure that I definitely struggle with some seasonal depression up here.
Yeah. Yeah. My sleep schedule gets worse.
Well, especially doing
By
the work that
far.
you do because you snowplow.
Yeah.
commercially.
That doesn't help. That doesn't
Yeah.
help. But like, it's just, I'm not a morning person. I am a night owl.
Are you?
But yeah, it took me years to figure this out too.
All
Like
right.
realistic, because like, how do you know other than like you do your own research, like you listen to podcasts and you realize, hey, it's normal not to want to be. Because I just thought all these old guys I worked with just hated their lives and were up at 5 a.m. Like, no, some of them actually like drinking their coffee at 5 a.m. I'm not a coffee guy.
Yeah.
I don't like being up at 5. Like,
Yeah. No, see, that's funny because I do.
yeah, see,
Yeah. So I am much more a morning person. It sucks too because I love sports. And so I'm a huge MMA guy because I wrestle.
Oh, that's the worst.
And
all
they
the
don't,
showtimes are
they don't
midnight,
start
bro.
until 10 o'clock at night, man. So the main event.
You don't ever see a main event.
No, fuck. I can never make it, man. I am usually asleep. And Min will tell you this all the time, too. I will say, hey, there's a fight on tonight, babe. I'm going to try to stay up and watch it. And she'll like just kind of look at me with a smirk and be like, okay. And I never
We'll see about that.
fucking make it. Never.
No, yeah, that's tough. No, yeah, and I guess that's a benefit. And maybe that's why I think part of the reason why I am a night owl is maybe because it's when I can get my alone time to just watch sports too.
Yeah.
I think it's deeper than that. Being a parent nowadays, like you're always on social. Like, how are you going to decompress? Like, I do like getting up at 5 a.m., but like then I feel like I have to start my day and do stuff. Like it's tough. So like it's easier for me at night when I put the kids to bed and everyone's in bed for me just to like sit on my phone and watch football for 4 hours. Like it just.
No, that's true.
You know what I
get
mean? Maybe it's some more me time. It might change when I get older. Probably will actually. So
I feel that. So I have a special needs daughter, and so I really like on the parent level for sure because parents, you don't get any real downtime until they're in bed. And where I'm going with that, why I bring up Gia is because you're right. I do notice that as soon as I get up in the morning, no matter what time it is, my first instinct is to go check on her, make sure that she's doing all right, because she's got a lot of different health stuff. So we have to take her BP and her blood pressure and stuff like that. So I guess it's just.
but your day started then.
Yeah, it starts the minute
It's
I
not
get.
your time.
So
Your day started.
Yeah. So I do get that, and I guess you're right because now thinking back on it, I don't take a lot of me time. I don't think actually.
It's very important.
Yeah, you're right.
It's very important.
Yep.
And my girlfriend helped me realize that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
She loves vacations. Like I was like a strong believer, especially the military.
Yeah.
You work for 40 years and then you retire. That's when you can relax.
Yep.
Like, and it's such a strong belief. I think just from the way I was raised, like you just work yourself to death, and then you might get a couple years to where you can chill.
I think you're right. I definitely think too, because I grew up. My dad. We were talking before we turned the mics on, and I was telling you my dad is a Vietnam vet, and so I grew up as much. And this is the crazy thing. My dad would tell you how much he hated his experience in the military, and I think a lot of Vietnam veterans, especially, have that. But at the same time, we grew up very militant in my household. So it's like strange how ingrained it was.
Well, I think of it this way. He might have joined so young that it was so impressionable on him that he probably didn't know how to get rid of it either.
Well, he was drafted.
Like,
Yep. So, I
you know what I
he
mean?
had no desire.
It's simply a way of life.
It is.
It's a way of surviving, too, for them. That's a big thing.
Yep.
It's a big thing. And plus, like, you know, PTSD wasn't a thing. Like, they weren't allowed to deal with it. Like,
no, that's a good point.
you can't make excuses for them because obviously, you know, there's still ways back then for them to cope. There was still groups and stuff that they could have accessed. And
but it was
like
different.
It was different, right? We know a lot more now. We get that every day. You learn more now. Like even like things on. I'll go into the next part. CTE for like football.
Yeah.
Think 10 years ago. Was anyone talking about that?
No. And how many great athletes have we lost? You know, it's funny
that we don't even know about. But now you're like, oh wait, you put the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. So full disclosure, I watched the WWE, and I was watching Monday Night Raw.
It's a vibe.
Man. Yeah. I mean, it's not everybody's thing, but
no, I when I was growing up, I get it. And
yeah,
like once in a while, I watch the clips on YouTube and stuff. Like it's fun to like just watch it.
It's like one of those. It's an escapism.
Yeah,
I think. But I gotta stop in a way though because I watch everything with this critical eye. And so I watch everything from like this idea of like I'm always questioning like why do we act like that? Why do we do this? Why do we like this? It's weird. And sometimes I wish it would just stop, which I guess is why Vertigo I know. Well, and I think that's where Vertigo kind of does help actually because then it
helps you put them into piles and then organize them that way. Yeah,
right.
I get that.
But where I was going with that is I was watching a match and all of a sudden, because the WWE, after the Chris Benoit situation, do you know about that?
No.
Okay, so Chris Benoit was a popular wrestler in the quote-unquote Attitude Era, which was when they had the Monday Night Wars between WCW and WWE. And Chris Benoit came up with like Chris Jericho, and I'm just saying like as far as timeline, Eddie Guerrero, whatever. So that was kind of his time period. So I want to say that was the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. But the point of Chris Benoit was an incredible wrestler. However, talking about CTE, he did this thing where he would jump off the top rope. It was called a flying headbutt. He had CTE, obviously. Yeah. And what happened was he murdered his wife and his child and then committed suicide. Yeah, it's heavy. It's really heavy, And of course, they can't diagnose CTE.
And there were so many warning signs that no one noticed because they didn't know back then.
Right. Exactly. And so he was ostracized for that, cut out of the WWE,
There's a very close tie to CTE and PTSD too. Like it's...
Well, and he was on steroids. That was the steroid era in sports, not just WWE.
Yeah,
we saw it
back
in baseball.
Then we don't know what the damage for some of that stuff was too.
Yeah.
Now there's quote unquote safe steroids. I don't know that much about them, but nothing's really safe, right? Yeah. Like we know, but I'm sure it is much safer now than it was back then. You know what I mean? So I know that for a fact. But yeah. We learn so much every day, dude.
Right. Right.
It's scary to think about like what we'll know in another 10 years.
Right.
If we just found out that, well, I don't want to say found out because that's not true. Like we knew, hey, hitting our heads together constantly probably isn't best.
Yeah.
But no one really understands the damage as it does.
Right.
For years. Because I think they did come out with like a way to where they can now tell if you have CTE, which... I think it's still like being studied to be a science at this point, but like even for the last 5 years, it was like we don't know until we autopsy your brain.
Right.
So like,
exactly.
How do you treat someone that you can't actually diagnose still?
Right. No, it's true, and it's weird. They've done so much research on it, and I still feel like I know so little about it. I think.
Yeah. Well, whenever you talk about the brain, obviously there's a lot of variables there.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's everything from the way you grew up to your diet and you got to figure these are professional athletes that are on very strict diet, very regimental. Like, there's probably other things going on there that we're not aware of.
Right.
Like, on top of that. So that's, I'm sure there's, but like that's part of like whenever the NFL does fines and stuff, that's part of what that money is supposed to go to.
Yeah,
not only their retirement, but the research. For that. So,
so
we'll put that on now.
So kind of a weird segue. So this isn't really what I'm digging this, but I didn't plan this. So, I also want to go here. So what is your thoughts on like the whole like Aaron Hernandez thing? Do you know, because I've spent some time now. Yeah. I can't say that I know a ton about Aaron Hernandez as a person, but I only know obviously how they've painted him in the documentaries. Did you watch that? I was
gonna say, did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched 2 of them. There was one on Netflix, and I don't remember where the second one was. I watched,
but it was a shorter version.
Yeah.
No, I get you. But part of the issue with that is, so I was young when he was around. So like I'm 29.
Yeah, so
I got he was early Patriots area, you know what I mean? So like I knew of it, but like I was sheltered to probably what he actually did at the time. Well, I know I was, because it wasn't until like everything came back out that like, we realized that.
Yeah, it's only been the last couple of years.
Yeah, so I can't put like the way you see it. You saw it while it was happening. Right. I can only do the past tense. So for me, it's easier to see as a past tense, like duh, because now we also know everything about CTE. Yeah. But like a good example is Antonio Brown.
Okay. Yeah, AB. Yeah.
I mean, he has a Twitter that says CTE. Like, you ever see that?
No.
Like, this guy is losing his mind, man.
Is he?
Oh, he's gone.
And he was one of the phenomenal. Was he a running back?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. So he's completely gone. Like, and
That's
as like a pun, he made his Twitter account, I think CTE ESPN, and he just tweets wild things, which like maybe that's the way he's dealing with it, but like some of it is just so out of pocket. But some of it's funny. Like obviously it's the internet. Like I think he does white guy of the day or something. Like some of it is hilarious. Don't get me wrong, but some of it's like, this is frightening. Like this guy could like do something like that,
right?
Like, and we're all aware of it now. But what do we do? Like, because he was really suffering. He was jumping from team to team, acting strange.
I remember that.
I remember when he ripped his shirt off. I think he was playing for the Jets then when he did that.
Yes, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I remember the incident, but
yeah. So like, and that's what ultimately. But like, so like that's a prime example. Obviously, he didn't murder his fucking family. Thank God. But like,
no, that was a really like what happened with Chris Benoit. That was really incredible.
Well, you got to think, what are the other running backs in the last 10 years that got convicted of like who's that one that like beat his wife in the elevator? And
that's
like
right.
That? Like,
see, I don't
now
know.
we got to think back and be like, oh well,
yeah.
But is it an excuse? It's just the same as like your dad with Vietnam. Is it an excuse though? You know what I mean? Like, like because their family knew something wasn't right.
Right.
Did they try? You know what I mean? I can't point fingers, but sitting here, I feel shitty saying that. But like at the same time, it's like I remember my brother when he came home from his one tour, like he wasn't right, and I remember talking to my mom, and she just like didn't.
We don't talk about that.
She like I could see it on her. I was probably 10 or 11 at the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, we don't talk. You know what I mean? So like. If we were still doing that back in, I don't know, late 2000s, like I'm sure people are still doing it now, because at the end of the day, you care about that person and you don't want them to be painted in a bad ego. So like,
no.
And how do you tell someone like, hey, you're fucked up?
Right. No, this kind of brings up, and I want to segue because I had a thought while you were talking, and I'm like, this is so incredible, because I had read a statistic the other day. I was actually preparing for this podcast, and so I'm ashamed to say that I didn't document. But anyway, so here's a quick synopsis of what happened. I had gotten some really awesome comments on Vertigo, and had thought about how I can push the envelope a little bit further, talking about men and our stuff and where we get hung up, and because it was after the episode of the glow up of Maddox, and where Maddox was talking about kind of how he was in a really deep depression and had to pull himself out and whatnot.
I'm proud of him for saying that.
Yeah, man, that was pretty incredible.
Big to come out and say that.
Yeah, I agree. That was a pretty. Yeah, that was an intense episode, but in a good way,
Yep.
you know. But it also made me realize how like we don't really still in 2025 talk about men's mental health really. And yeah,
We do in forms of memes on social media now.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like
Yeah.
I see it like so anyway, let me tell you the statistic quick.
Go ahead.
So I read that here we are in 2025, and yet the highest suicide statistic is men, and I want to say it was 25 to 35 or 25 to 40,
40s.
somewhere in that.
It was the 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, but yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, how in 2025, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, okay, but we talk about being woke, and we talk about all of this new age, new way of thinking, right? We've talked about, you know, gender issues. We talk about all this stuff in 2024 carrying into 2025, right?
Yeah,
all this
yeah.
hot button of topics.
Yep.
And one of those things is like busting through stereotypes. Yet I feel like men still, like, we aren't talking really about our stuff really. Like there's still like obvious, and that obviously must be true if the suicide rate and
obviously like it's shown.
Yeah.
I think social media, not only can it be a tool to help, but it's definitely a tool to not help us.
Yeah.
And I think statistically that's probably what's causing this issue. Because like I said, like, yeah, us men, like we just have group chats to where we just share memes. It's like, oh,
it's funny.
dang, I missed that tree on the side of the road today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think it is important to like joke about it too at the same time, because like it lets you know that you're not alone, which I think is huge when you're dealing with a problem like that. Whether it's jokingly or not, like there's obviously a little bit of truth behind all of it. Like, because obviously otherwise it wouldn't be said. But like, I think it's so important that it is talked, even if it's in a jokingly manner.
No, I think you're right.
I think it is important, but I think one thing the military taught me when dealing with suicide, because unfortunately I lost a lot of friends.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then, just give me a second.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah. So, and then it just taught me to like know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
So like it's super important to like just know where.
Yeah,
like,
you got to know where the boundary is.
Yep. Check on them. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
like they share that meme, right? What if they're not sharing that meme today?
Yeah.
Something's changed, man. Like if they're always joking about it, if they're not joking about it anymore, that's probably a red flag.
You're right.
So
You're right.
I think more research needs to be done, and I think it should be taught in schools differently than the way it is. Even if it is, I don't know, because when I graduated back in 2013, was it mentioned? Yes, but like along the same lines of bullying, like don't do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like taught.
It's like,
it should be taught. Like it should be more of a like health class, like focusing on like, you know, how to deal with.
Right.
I know it'll still be a joke. I know it's easier to talk about when I'm pushing 30 now, but like it was so important, I think, that they're exposed to the correct information at a young age, whether they absorb it or not.
No, I think you're right, man. So I'm going to tell a story that I don't think I've ever told before. So I was a sophomore in high school. And I know I'm a little bit older than you, so I don't know.
Young soul.
But so when I was in school, high school, every year, so freshman year you had earth science, sophomore year you had, I believe, chemistry, physics, so forth, right? And so you had to do labs. So you had an A day, B day, right? A day was class. B day was lab.
Yep.
And so you had to have a lab partner. And that was just the way that it was. So my lab partner, his name was Jamie. And when I was a sophomore in school, so Jamie would write, he was huge into hip hop, and he would write rap lyrics. And that was always this thing. Yep. Well, this one particular day, he comes into class with a box. And he sits down with me at the table, and he's going through this box, And I'm like, Jamie, what are you doing, man? He goes, hold on a minute. I just got to find something. And he's looking through this box, and the teacher's, and I was one of those kids that I'm like, okay, the teacher's looking at us now, dude. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Button it up, bro.
Right. Because I was always uncomfortable. Like,
yep.
whatever.
Well, you know how to read a room. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
can tell you. So anyway, I'm like watching the teacher. Right. Anyway, yeah, exactly. So he finds this rap lyrics, and he's like, I want to give these to you.
Fuck,
Right. And I didn't think anything of it back then, man. And, you know, like I said, a sophomore in high school, I was like, okay, Jamie, whatever, cool, man. Like, quit being fucking weird, right? And anyway, long story short, the next day we go to class, or we go to school, and isn't there an announcement that Jamie's no longer with us? Jamie passed away last night. That was the message. If anybody needs to talk to a counselor, counselors are available. You know how that fucking shit goes, right? As the day progresses, all of us in class are talking because nobody knows what happened, right? Yeah. Jamie committed suicide. And I will remember that forever in my life, man. And as much as I try to forget it, I will forever remember it. That's impactful, right?
Yeah, no.
And I can't stop myself from thinking sometimes, like, what could I have done in that moment? Yeah. Because I will never forget. Like, I thought it didn't bother me, to be honest with you. I thought I had forgotten about it. Well, you just go through life, man. Yeah, right? And I still have moments at almost 50 years old where I fucking think about that kid and wonder, like, dude, if someone just handed you a lifeline, then, like, what would you be doing now, right? And so, it's like, I don't know how to talk about it, but I don't know how we don't talk about it either.
No,
you know?
I think it's so important too. I think, I think a lot of things. I think the military's gotten a lot better at it. We're still terrible at it. I think there's a lot of toxicity out there. Yeah. And not even military, like your work environment too. Like, check on your coworker. Same idea.
You do.
It doesn't matter.
Got to.
Man. Like, sudden changes, like divorces, like we all go through something. Like we don't. It might not be the divorce, but maybe it's the flat tire on his way to work that day. You know what I mean, dude? Like you don't know, man. Check on, and females obviously, but obviously, guys, we just don't know how to deal with it. I think
we don't talk about it.
But one thing I will say is, so I started subbing this winter because I thought I was gonna have a bunch of downtime. Turns out I didn't. So I haven't been doing it enough. But there's a bunch of training online that hopefully that people are actually paying attention to. But it's very very much like the military training. It's making the teachers aware of what to do. Yeah. And notice the signs of it. So, like, good for at least New York State for doing that. I don't know if that's wide, but obviously, if they're teaching that to teachers, then why don't we just take that a step farther if we're not already? Yeah. No, I agree. So,
And I think, how do we do that, right? I think my challenge where I throw down the gauntlet. So I wasn't in the military, but I was in the oil field. Yep. And I want to be careful because I don't want to compare the oil field to the military because they are very different. But
it's still brotherhood.
I think thank you. Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. Because I want to say, but I think the attitude, the bro, that bro mentality is still there. Because I remember... so I'll tell you a quick story, and then I got a follow-up question for you. So, but when my first week in the oil field was like the most fucking outrageous week, right? I knew what I was getting myself into, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And so you have to go through all the safety training. So when I first showed up on the job, I was sent to training for a week in Pennsylvania. And that's not only what it is that we're doing out there. My job was we were a well service company, so we didn't do fracking. Gotcha. We didn't do the actual
They're
drilling.
Already there, you're just redoing them.
So what my job was is after the hole is dug, they have to drop these huge metal sleeves into the hole to hold the formation, right? And then what they do is they have to cement those into place. And so how you do that is you actually fill the well with cement, and then you drop a plug which pushes the cement out
into
to
the grooves.
so it's
That's
between
cool. Yeah.
the sleeve
That makes sense. Okay.
and the earth. Okay, so my job was I worked on the cement crew. I was a pump mechanic. And that was my title. So I was basically the second to the pump mechanic. So the pump mechanic stands up on the truck with his headset in, and he's operating the pressure and all that. My job was to be on the ground, making sure that nothing was happening, because you've got to have valves and kicks and all this stuff. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah. And so my job is, and then if something breaks, we shut that truck down, switch to another truck, and then I repair the truck right in the field.
Well,
right?
Can't let that concrete dry, man.
Right, exactly. So it was a pretty intense job. So obviously there's training and whatnot. But what I noticed was the very first job that I went on, there's no trust with your brothers. They don't know you. You're new, right? And what I found very interesting was two things. One, sleep deprivation. You're out there on the job, on the well site for 14 to 20 hours. Working
in weather.
In weather, yeah, and it doesn't matter what the weather is.
You don't realize that. Oh, I pulled a 12-hour shift at the office today. Okay, go do that outside.
Yeah, do that.
You don't even have to be doing anything. Just stand outside for 12 hours. When's the last time someone did that?
Yeah,
like it's miserable.
Yeah, go do that in Ohio. Yep. And we're never working during the day. We always get called out to these sites at, like, I used to have yard times of like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So you're working overnight, doing this shit, 14 to 20 hours. It's fucking dirty. You know what I mean? It's heavy. Nothing is light. But yeah, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, it's miserable.
And that's the other thing. I should say, when I was working on the oil field, I wasn't working offshore oil rigs. I was doing natural gas in Pennsylvania, Ohio. I did a job in New York City, believe it or not. We're not allowed to talk about that, but
nope. Yeah, that's a big shame thing right now.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's huge. They don't even let it like be in new buildings or something right now. It's huge.
We did a test site in New York City. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the first big job that I had to do, my pump mechanic comes off the top of the truck screaming, hollering, and you have to slam the iron together. It's dog collars, and you have to hit it with like a 10-pound sledge, you know. And so what had happened was I was trying to switch. The truck went down, and I had to switch over to the other truck. So I'm hammering it off, and the fucking thing is stuck. Now, this is my first job, and I'm beating on it. And he comes down off the truck, which he's not supposed to do. Yep. And he comes off the truck, and he's like, McDowell, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I got mad, and I threw the hammer down. I'm like, listen, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is the first time I've been, whatever. Yep. And he picks up the hammer, which fell in driller's mud, which is disgusting shit. And he picks it up, and he goes, I just bought this fucking hammer.
Yep.
And I'm just looking at him, and he drops it at my feet, man, and I thought he was going to swing on me. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you're going to, like, over a fucking, and that's how it was. And so, honest to God, and I don't even know if I've ever told my wife this story, so this will be the first time she hears it, but honest to God, he comes, he's nose to nose with me, screaming at me about how I threw his brand new hammer. And that's what, I'm like, this is what I signed up for. You know what I mean? I'm about, and like in my mind right now, I'm like, I'm about to throw down with this guy over a fucking hammer. And then after that, it was all said and done. And then it was like, you're accepted. And it's like, what kind of mentality is this? You know what I mean? Like, where does this, like, this macho bullshit,
it's almost cultish. It's weird.
No.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is, like, I'm sure you think about it now, it wasn't because it was a new hammer.
Right.
That hammer meant something more than just being a hammer.
Exactly.
Like, if you're gonna throw
don't talk about it.
Well, because he's like, you were quitting more or less, right?
Right.
He was relying on you too. Like, you can depict that multiple ways, but like, there's a lot going on there with a new guy. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter even if you weren't new. Like, you're. Like you said, he wasn't supposed to come off that truck. What if something happened? That's his ass, right?
Right.
Because you threw a hammer, right? That's what, like, it. But it is like, it shows like how much, like, you knew at the time you're not supposed to come off that truck. Like, if you don't do your job, he doesn't get his job done. Right. And we're all in trouble, right? So it is. You got to be like accepted. Yeah. Otherwise, like, if you can't be relied upon, you can't be trusted.
Right. So. It's just weird. So it's like, I look at the pressure, and my point in telling the story is the amount of pressure I think sometimes that we put men under,
constantly.
Yeah. And
you knew from that day on, you were always under that pressure. Deep down.
Right.
You act like it wasn't there. but you were always.
Exactly.
Always.
You swallow
Every
it.
day.
You're right, though.
Every day. You walked into work and it was a light switch. You clicked in and you knew if something went wrong, someone might die. I might get fired is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Someone might get really hurt too. So,
right.
Yeah.
Why? So when it comes wintertime, it's cold as hell out, and you're still doing the same job, and you're still working with cement and water, right? And all of these things raining down on you, and it's 0 degrees. So you go from being July in the summertime in the hills of Pennsylvania to where you're we would wear nothing under our FRs, literally nothing. It would be like a Scot in his kilt, man. We would have our FRs on, which are long, and then you have to wear these burn things and then gloves and whatnot. And literally under your FRs, and FRs don't breathe. I'm sure you've probably had to wear FRs before. Flame retardant is what FR stand for the listeners. And we would literally be naked under the FRs, and you would still sweat your ass off, dude. Well, then switch around. You couldn't wear enough bundles under those fucking things in the wintertime. I watched a dude. We had, he used to take a tarp, and they would put it around the pump truck. Yep. On the back of the pump truck, where the pump actually is. Okay, so it's an 18-wheeler, and the trailer part is the pump. Gotcha. And it's open, and so guys would hang tarps up because you could go in there and keep warm just from the engine of the pump running.
Yeah, classic. Stand by the diesel exhaust, man. That'll help you out.
Well, this idiot was a smoker, and he went in there and he flicked his bic, and he blew himself about 10 feet through the fucking, blew himself. Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. So I said I was going to have a follow-up question to all this. So how do we then, because I know we've been talking about football, we've been talking about this, the military. So all of this stuff is like, in my opinion, pretty stereotypical male.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative, right?
No, yeah. But like, I feel like, off of those few topics we went over, it's relatable for us.
Right.
Like for the most part, somebody out there can relate. Yeah.
So how do we, because and this goes back to you being the Grinch, like it does tie back. Yeah. Like, how do you then become a positive role model? But also, like, we've been through some shit, man. We just talked about it. And we were talking before we even cracked the mics. Yeah. Like, and it way too much to try to record in a podcast. But we identify on a lot of levels, right? Yep. And I appreciate that about you. And, like, so how do we be positive role models? Because that's where I feel like I struggle still. Like, how do we be vulnerable? And how do we do that? Because it alarms me that, I guess, going back to the suicide rate, that it's still so fucking high. Like, man, how is that?
If I had the answer, I probably would have 12 degrees. No, right? Because you got to live this life and then figure it out as you go. Every single one of us are.
Yeah, it's true.
And we're all doing it wrong. Guess what? We are.
Yeah. And
we know it.
Right.
But the fact that we're self-reflecting, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're like, damn, I shouldn't have done that, or damn, maybe, maybe I should have got up and played with my kids for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? If you sit in your bed at night and you have any regrets like that, it's because you're a good person and you're gonna make. You're doing that. You're making a better life for your kids, even though you feel like a failure at the end of the day. You're not. If you're able to think that in your head, you're okay. And the only reason I know that is, like, I did a lot of research on, like, narcissists and stuff like that because I dealt with that growing up. And they don't have that ability. Mm-hmm. They lack it. Like, they do not have that ability to self-reflect and see themselves wrong. So, like, I always question myself, like, because I dealt with a lot of anger issues and stuff for a while. Like, I had kids really young. Life wasn't working out. Like, it's tough, man. Life is tough out there.
Life is tough.
So I was like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I have all these anger issues. I'm a fucking narcissist, probably. I was being told I was a narcissist, blah, 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 blah. So
who told you that? Who told
my
you?
Ex.
Okay.
My ex.
All right.
Yeah, that was super toxic. I don't want to talk about it, but
no. That's cool.
Yeah. It was super toxic. So, like, I'm glad we were out of it, whatever. It's definitely best for the kids. But yeah, so where I was going with that is, like, at the end of the day, now I had to grow up to realize this.
Right.
Like, there's no, like I said, you have to go through life. Like, because you just have to grow up, man.
Yeah.
Because you can't self-reflect if you don't go through it.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't until like the last few years that like I was able to sit down and be like, I'm not a narcissist. Like, I just have a lot of pent-up anger from a lot of shit I was thrown through. But I know that I fucked up, and I know that I can do better. And I think I try and just, I'm the dad I am because I don't have the dad. You know what I mean? So everything I do is because I didn't have one per se. Like, I had a stepdad. I had a real dad. I didn't know him. My stepdad was a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So I'm the dad I am because I had an example of how not to be.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that because I think, man, that's a powerful statement. Seriously, because we talk about, well, let me step back a little bit. In the field, I think, of psychology, we talk a lot about recidivism, right? And how we kind of do unto others as we've had done to ourselves, right?
Yep.
And I think that it's really difficult to break that cycle. I know that personally. It's really hard because I too, we were, again,
I deal with it.
Talking a bit before we cracked the mics, right? We're talking a little bit about like how we both struggled with a lot of anger. And that's one of those things where it's like we can pass that along, or we can decide that we need to somehow break that cycle.
I think, and I think, not to interrupt, but
no,
I think one reason what woke me up is I saw it in my daughter.
Anger?
Anger.
Yeah.
And it scared the shit out of me because it was like, what am I doing?
Understood.
I was like, it's my fault. Like, and probably in a way it was. You know what I mean? Because she was young, but she was going through a very tough time. I wasn't making it easier on her. You know what I mean? And she's gotten a lot better now. But she's a great. I love her. She literally is the sweetest girl in the world. Like she's great. But like even now, like her patience level is sometimes non-existent.
Right.
So, and it's something that like I sat her down, and and she's not diagnosed with ADHD or anything like that. But I just sat her down and I said, hey, honey, everyone's a little different in their own ways. Yeah. I was like, you have to learn how to use this difference to your advantage. Yeah. And I was like, it's taken me 30 years and I'm not there yet. I was like, but it's a superpower when you get those good days. Man. On the bad days, it's bad because it makes everything worse. You know what I mean? Because it's very, she funnels towards it and stuff like that. So yeah, how do we get better, right? Our kids are a reflection of ourselves, right? But you can't take that statement literal because sometimes it's out of your control. And also, if you take that statement literal, you'll always think you're a failure. Yeah. So, which I get in that cycle automatic. So that's the thing. Yeah. When I was listening to that, that's why I said I'm proud of him for coming on, but I'm proud of you for being able to sit there and listen to that, because that's got to be hard. That's got to be hard, man. Like, because like we were talking before we went live, like the shit we went through. The last thing we want to see in our kids is what we went through. Like, yeah. Exactly. There's no better way to say it, but like, so. Yeah, no, I think it's important to maybe, even if you get into the routine, to sit down every night and be like, what could I have done better? Yeah. And for me, with the way my brain goes, I'll be up all night. So that's part of my issue. But no, I think focus on the little things, not the big things. Yeah. Like it took me a while just to like, the kid spilled milk. Are you gonna escalate quick? It took me a year or two to where I could be like, literally just tell yourself, laugh. It's not a big deal. What's a care? Milk's expensive nowadays, $3-4, right? Sure, but really, other than that, what's it matter, right? You're right. And they're kids. They're kids. Right? They're supposed to make these mistakes, man. If they don't hear in a safe environment, wait till they get out in the real world and they make that mistake. God, man, what you're saying gives me goosebumps. No lie. Like I think about this stuff, and it's funny because I'm thinking about it in a different headspace. Yeah. Because for me, I feel like so I just recently became a grandparent. Yeah, congratulations. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, man.
and it's so exciting. But I don't know. That is what really made. So my oldest grandchild is going to be 2 here in March, and so I guess so. It's only been a short time, is my point.
Yep.
But in those 2 years, I've thought so much about how I raised my son, and not just him, but all of my kids. But he was my firstborn. You know what I mean?
gotcha. Yeah.
And so it just has made me kind of really think. And so the point, I guess what I'm trying to say is, for you to be there at 30, where I only really got to at 45, 46, is so incredible. And I want to also say, though, it doesn't matter as long as
if you're getting
there, right?
Yeah. I said, as long as at the end of the day you're thinking about it, you're doing something right.
Right.
Like don't like you said, like, don't set timelines to it, because that's not how life works, man. It's just not. So it's not how self-improvement works, that's for sure.
Right.
Everyone's different. So no, I mean, yeah, but I think maybe that's why I put myself, like, maybe that's why I was a Grinch, because I never had a Grinch growing up. Did you?
I didn't.
Right.
Why
not?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Why not?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Why not?
Why not do it? What's it cost you? $50 mask and outfit? Like, you know what I mean? But, like, why
Right.
not? Like, it's fun. The kids love it. And guess what? They'll probably remember it. And guess what they'll probably do when they get older?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, like, stuff like that. It's like, yeah. And that's why I coach. And that's why I do all the stuff I do. I think it's so important. Even if it doesn't get noticed, it's good for you, your own. It's like you checking yourself.
Right.
You're still human. Why are you doing this? Because you're human, and sometimes you need to do something good to feel good.
You're right. I think too, I didn't even think about it back then, but so I coached Little League, and I remember, like, that was such a big deal to me to be involved in Little League. And it's kind of one of those things that's hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize at the time that I was doing it why I was really doing it, because I felt like it was just what I needed to do.
Yep.
But now, fast forwarding to where I am now, it was like, exactly, that was my Grinch. I didn't have that, right? So, it was important for me to be that at that point in time for my kids, because I didn't have that, right? And so it kind of all ties back to the
shout
Grinch.
out to all those parents that are volunteering, and even people that aren't parents. I know people that aren't parents that, like, volunteer in, like, youth sports and stuff.
Yeah.
That's even more bizarre to me. That's like, how good of a person do you have to be? Like, they have no inkling on all these kids there. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
None of them are there, but they're still volunteering their time.
It's funny.
You know what I mean?
You're
It's
right.
it's so important. Like, yeah, it really does take a village to raise kids. Like, and I think recently a lot of people started realizing that, but it was really tough coming out of COVID. There was nobody wanted to volunteer to coach. Like, it was crazy.
You kind of just threw down the gauntlet for me.
Oh boy.
So no. So I wrestled in high school, and I went to Fulton. Now, for anybody that's listening to this, the Fulton Red Raiders at that time were state champs all 4 years. I'm telling a lie. I was a 5-year plan, so I was a super senior. But every year that I was in high school, Fulton wrestling, we were state champs, right? And so that meant something to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, I was not a state champ. I was a mediocre wrestler. I was okay, but I was dealing with a lot of other shit too.
Yeah.
And you don't know that until you're old enough to understand that, right? So I wasn't pouring myself into wrestling the way that I wish that I did now, right? But anyway, my point in bringing all this up is, and I always weave these stories. I get really long-winded about this shit. But I had somebody stop into the spa and talk to my wife about me coaching peewees up here.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, why would I want to do that? Like I've got, like, my own life, my own thing. But where you threw down the gauntlet is like, but maybe I have something to share with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, nobody can see that, but my computer went to sleep. But yeah, so maybe it's that though, that like it's I'm being selfish about it, but maybe it's about like being able to stretch out. And
now we're full circle. Now you got to come back on. You got to take time for yourself too, though. Right?
Yeah,
like it is.
It's true. It's true.
But no, like maybe challenge yourself to do it for a year. You know what I mean? Like I've had a lot of people that like, oh, I'm only helping out this year. Fine. And we will all be happy if you just show up this year.
Right.
Or maybe if you can't do it full time, they have like tables and stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe offer like.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about. I'm just saying in general. I'm talking to everyone here. Like,
right.
Anything you can do is better than not doing anything. Obviously, that's a stupid statement to say.
No,
but
you're
like
right, though.
Realistically, like people don't realize like if you sit at a table for 2 hours and check people in or something, guess what that coach is not worrying about right now?
Right.
Making sure people are checked in properly.
No,
you know what I mean?
You're 100%
it's so
right.
little when you're doing youth sports like and stuff like that. It's just. And you're a head coach or you're a coach or even if it's like for cheerleading or something, you're in charge of all these kids. Yeah. Like parents are trusting you to do this.
Yep.
And like if you can take a 1% off of their mind to help them succeed, that will make them want to continue in the program longer.
You're right.
So
you're right. And I look at it though, and I look at it the other way too, that like if we want to be positive role models and if we want to be people who want to help kind of bring about change, then we have to be involved in some way too. And I look at it from that angle.
Yeah, we can't just talk about it, right?
Right.
There's action.
And
that is important.
I think sometimes I get stuck in the talk.
Well, it's tough because everyone has a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Until you put it to fruition. Like that's how it works. But if you don't talk about it, then how are you gonna get to the point to where you feel confident doing it? I think that's a lot of it. I think talk to your friends about it. Like it sounds silly, but like it's just recruiting.
Right.
That's all you're doing. Like I come from a military background, so everything's just tied to recruiting.
Right.
Because that's all it is. But like that's what it is. Like when your buddy mentions you about wrestling and coaching, he's recruiting you to do this. But there's a reason behind it. You know what I mean? Because he knows that you're a good guy and he wants that as part of his program.
Yeah.
Like simply put, that's all deep down. That's what he's thinking. Mm-hmm. He's not thinking, for oh man, it would just be nice if he did it so I don't have to. Maybe a little bit,
sure,
but realistically, he's asking you for a reason, right? So he's being a recruiter for something. So it works that way. I mean, it's so important. I know everyone is so busy with their lives nowadays, busy, and social media probably doesn't slow that down. But it's important to like get back out there and involved because COVID really like shut everything down.
No, you're so right.
And I think we lost a lot of those parents.
No, you're
when
right.
that happened. When it comes to coaching, volunteering, literally, like I said, the simple things like running snack shacks and stuff. Nobody wants to do it anymore.
Yeah, you're right. We all kind of just quit.
Yep.
And that kind of maybe that's the thing. We talk going back to the suicide rates. Yep. Maybe that's the thing that I just kind of had the light bulb go on is like maybe it's because we hit COVID and we all just kind of quit.
Yeah.
Not really even intentionally.
Yeah.
We just stopped.
We were just like, well, if this is the worst and now it's supposed to be better, why don't I feel better too?
Yeah, that too.
Like there was a lot of self-reflection going on out there. Like, and a lot of people, especially the younger generation, was just dealing with it via social media, which is not even close to what we're doing right now.
No.
Not face to face. Like this is so important. Like I said,
you're right.
People thrive and need communication. Even like I said, I think I hate talking to people sometimes. But then I'll go out there and be like, man, I just talked to him for an hour.
Right.
Why'd I do that? Well, it was because I secretly needed to do that. I needed to do that. And all these kids that were young that were going through this, like Maddox and stuff like that. Like, I can't imagine. Like, they just had social media.
That's all they had. Yeah, you're right.
That's the worst thing you could probably. That's probably worse than just not talking to anyone but your parents. I mean,
no, I think you're right. It did because, like, I think the problem with social media, and again, I don't want to go down the social media rabbit hole per se, but I think one of the problems with social media is it's really only a part of our personality, right? We're only really, it's like reality TV, right? We're just playing a part of our personality. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're emphasizing this piece of our personality.
And maybe that's who you really want to be.
Maybe it is.
But
right.
Like you got to still tell that line, right?
Right. But there's other parts. And we get lost. And that's one of the things, man, that I really love. I think about starting this whole thing was like, I really am starting to understand how much I enjoy just having the conversation, like you grow so much from that you don't even realize.
You learn so much. You learn so much. That's something I learned growing up, because where I grew up, worse than Fulton, like just as far as like, not, I don't want to say intelligence, but like accessibility to intelligence.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can always learn something from someone.
Yeah.
So never talk down, never, especially like in the military. That was one of my pet peeves, is how people like, oh, like we're not going to listen to you. You're just private nobody.
Yeah.
Private nobody probably knows something that you will need to know someday.
Yeah.
You need to listen.
How did you deal with that? Because I think you're right.
It was really tough for the first couple of years, obviously. Yeah. But then you get into going through the motions things. Like you just wake up, you deal with it. But when you start getting rank, I got out when I was a 5, so I wasn't like super high up or anything like that. But I think you can make such a big difference, and I think looking forward, being able for me to be like, oh, I can't wait till I'm into that position so I can like do that and do the right thing. I think that helped me get through it a lot. And you know what they say in the military, all the good ones get out. So maybe I'm a good one for that then.
I think so, man.
Well, it just sucks, man. I wish I could have stayed and stuff like that. But I think it's important that younger people, whether you're in the military or you're in high school and you see a teacher doing something you don't like, just like keep that as like a little like token. Be like, I'm gonna be better than that. Yeah. At some point, you know what I mean? Like, because like it's so important just to listen to people, even if you don't agree with them.
No, you're right.
It's important to listen because it helps you. Like I don't agree with a lot of people.
Yeah, understood.
Because I think I know a lot of things sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? And I know, but I do.
Ego gets in the way.
I do a lot of research. Like I do my best. I love information. It clings to me, man. I'll sit there and listen to somebody, and they're saying something that's wrong, and it pains me. Yep. But I'm like, let them finish, because there might be something in there to why they think that way and why they remembered it that way. That's so important. That's more important than the stat that they're trying to throw out there. Mm-hmm. It's the fact of why they remembered it that way. It's because it wasn't the number; it was the reason they remembered.
Man, whatever that is. I never thought about it.
You know what I mean? And that'll tell you a lot about that person.
You're right.
So that you can then create a connection with them.
And that's really the point, isn't it? Yeah. Is to try to create those connections. No, man. Yeah, you're opening my eyes.
You gotta listen, man. You gotta listen, and that's why, like, I hate this social media stuff, but like, it's been so obviously with the whole political thing going on right now. Dude. It's all over my newsfeed,
and I've stayed away from that.
And even football, man, it's so politicized with all the refs. People are arguing over that stuff. Yeah, and it's like, you can in college, you can take like arguments as like a class, because it's a sport.
Yes. Debating, Minna and I talked about that, I think, on one of the podcasts.
It's a sport.
Yes, debating is a sport. Politicians is a sport.
You're not going to gain anything from this.
Right.
What are you going to get, a high five point online?
Right.
You will not. You need to talk to somebody in person. One of the worst things my mom does with me. One of the worst things. Sorry about this tangent, but it needs to be said.
No, do it.
She'll text me, or I'll text her about something. Can you tell what tone I'm using when I'm texting you?
No, you can't.
And my mom is so sensitive. Bless her heart. I love her to death. Yeah. She is so sensitive. I'll text her something, and she won't even say anything to me for a week. She'll be like, "Are you mad at me?" I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But no, the way I texted something to her, or she'll text me and just say okay instead of okay why, or like little things like that.
Understood.
Like I get it, but like that's why, like if you want to talk about something important, do it in front of somebody.
No, you're right. You're right.
Even a phone call. That's still not getting you there, man. Like it's
face to face.
Yeah, and that's the biggest I think that's the biggest problem with social media is you lose this. You lose the human connection behind it.
Right, because
that allows people to say things that they wouldn't say and think things that they wouldn't think.
I know.
All right, let's get off that.
I hate that. I hate that
I think
stuff.
you're
right. No, but you're right. It's important because those things do get lost in translation. You're right. It's so different when I can see your body language. You're right.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's so easy to like
that,
sit at your house or sit in the bar and yell at the refs for making a bad call. Was it a bad call? Probably.
Right.
Were you there?
Right.
Were you at that? Were you at his? And that's the biggest thing that people don't understand is we live in the 21st century with cameras flying above an NFL stadium everywhere, and you get every view in the world. Guess what that ref view is?
Yeah.
Right next to that player.
Right.
And sometimes that's better, and sometimes it's not.
Hey, listen, and we're still at the end of the day. I think this is a great note, a great punctuation on what you're making. At the end of the day, we're still human, and humans make mistakes.
And I love the human error behind it.
That's what makes
I think it's needed.
Yeah,
I think it's
we
needed.
have to. So I learned something from a friend of mine who is Native American, and they said to me that the beauty in our creation is the imperfections.
Correct.
And that is definitely a Native American thought, right? Like even in creating, there are imperfections, and that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us individual. That's what makes us beautiful, is our imperfections. But yet we have such a hard time accepting that. Yep. And acceptance is huge. So let's have a little bit of fun as we wrap it. This is incredible. But so just to kind of unwind, because we've covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was wild.
And I want you to come back in for a part 2 because I feel like we need a part 2 to this kind of. I just feel that, man. I don't know if it's reading a room or what. I feel like we need a part 2.
Until you listen back in a couple hours and you're like,
Nah, man, I'm gonna listen back and be like, Christ, we need a fucking part 2. So let me ask you this. Super Bowl tonight. We're recording this on Super Bowl Sunday. It will get released tonight at 7:00 as long as I can do my homework and get this edited. Yeah. And so you're watching the Super Bowl tonight?
I will be. Yeah, okay. I think so. I need it after the day I've had, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were talking about having a pretty rough. Yeah, you were saying that.
I hopefully I can get some time to just. I'm a Bengals fan, so this game means nothing to me other than I don't like the Chiefs to win 3-peat, but not as much as I don't like Eagles fans either, I guess. So I have a very neutral stance on it.
Okay.
So, and sometimes being able to watch a game and just like not
sometimes
really care
it's
that
fun
much, it's better. Yeah, that's for sure. It's better. But so I'm excited. Are you watching it?
I'm gonna. No, okay. I'm in the same boat as you. So honestly, I'm a combat sports guy.
Yeah.
I already told you, I wrestled in high school, whatnot. If the UFC was a thing when I was in high school, I probably would have shot for that, to be honest with you. But that wasn't. Whatever. I mean, it just wasn't what it was. I love it now, though. I love it. So I'm much more into combat sports, boxing, UFC. I'm a huge boxing fan. But, I mean, it's hard to deny football, right? I mean, it's kind of become the nation's pastime. I know baseball is still
baseball's still there,
but
it's definitely like cultish for America.
Yeah, right?
Now. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that the way that they built it up. No, I think it's important to watch it. It's almost like watching the election.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. It's weird.
You're right. It's
weird the cult.
Thing.
The cultish thing that they put behind it. I think it's almost like you have to watch the halftime show really to see how bad it is. You know what I mean, or how good it is.
Right. You
and then everyone posts on social media about how bad or good it was, and my feed has 50-year-old people saying it was terrible and people my age saying they loved it. Like, it's just so funny. But no, I think it's because it helps everyone like go through something together,
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad, whether they love the
There's
team
connection.
or hate the team, but
There's
like
connection.
it's a connection thing
Yeah.
for us. So I think it's important to go out and watch it and not hate the refs when you do it.
So that's kind of where I was going with
Oh,
that.
boy.
No. I don't want to have I just in jest, in fun,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of. Well, this could be interesting too because this goes to show how algorithms work.
Oh, boy.
In my feed, for some reason, and I don't know why, there seems to be a lot about more about the Kansas City Bills game and how it was quote unquote rigged or fixed because of some of the. Now we already kind of talked about it with the humanness, but blown calls.
Yeah.
And it looked very deliberate. Is what
Yeah.
but it's easy to say that shit on
Out
social
of the
media
amount
too. So.
I mean, I'm not an expert at watching football, but
Same, neither.
this year I've cut back compared to last year. I probably watched 80% of the games.
Okay.
Like I was sports gambling, and I was just that's all I did for 8 hours a day. Like that's it.
Right.
So I could probably count on one hand in the last 5 years where I was like, that was so suspicious that it was on purpose.
Right.
No, and I'm not joking. Like,
Yeah.
And being a Bengals fan, playing KC, there wasn't one call ever where I was like, man, that wasn't just human error. That was weird.
Yeah.
Do they come up? Yes. Is there an explanation for it? Maybe. Maybe not.
Yep.
But it's just we don't have the access to the information that they do there. And also think about it this way. There's at least 7 officials on the field there.
Yeah.
7 watching 22 players at a time.
Right.
Is that perfect? No, but is that pretty good? Do you have a good eye? Like so like each position like has a job. When
right.
Obviously.
Yeah,
when
because
you're
you
a
got
ref.
your ref, your line judge, so forth.
So you have a guy literally just watching like the O line. You have a guy watching the D line. So he should be able to see these holds and stuff, right? But the issue is yes, there's in the book it says this is a hold.
Right.
Yes, this isn't a hold. But how you interpret that, everyone has their own.
The humanness.
Like you can do this or you can't do that, and then
Right.
sometimes you throw in, I just didn't see it on top of that, and maybe it does look like it's on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the reason I say this, I refed for the first time last year. I've coached I've coached football, Pop Warner, high school, and everything for a few years before that. But I had a friend that refs. He's retired, lives in Florida half the year. Guy's a great guy. He recruited me more or less, right?
Yeah.
Back to the recruiting.
Right. Recruiting.
Yeah. So I was like, sure, why not? You know what I mean? And I was like, and I was trying to be like, why should I do this? Because it's not benefiting my kids, right?
Right.
Like, can't go to their games if I'm reffing this, right? I'm benefiting other kids though, so it's back to the selfish thing. Like, yes, we get paid, but it's not.
That's more just an
Yeah.
It's like
maybe
dangling the carrot, maybe.
Yeah. But no, and I remember growing up playing football and coaching football. These refs, man, you get frustrated. You think you're frustrated as a fan? Lord,
Be a player.
Lord, let me tell you.
I understand.
So like I think back to like the understanding thing. How are you going to understand someone if you haven't been in their shoes?
Right.
I think it should be a requirement if you want to be a coach to ref for a year.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it would change a lot of issues that we would be having. And unfortunately, a lot of the issues that I had, granted I was a first year guy, the Pop Warner program with volunteer coaches is worse than the high school is more often.
Okay.
And
I guess I could see that.
I know, because maybe it's their own kids that has something to do with it. The lack of training definitely has something to do with it.
That's where I was
the
going.
lack of knowledge definitely has something to do with it. But that's not to say that a high school coach doesn't get thrown out of a game here and there too. Obviously that happens too. But I think it would change everything.
No, you're right. Knowledge base is much different. Because I was thinking when I was coaching Little League,
different, man.
I wasn't a baseball player. Ironically, I was a baseball fan.
Yeah.
I've grown up loving baseball. Baseball for the longest time was like my absolute favorite sport.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you positions, whatever, how people
Yeah,
talk about football, man. Like, I don't know nickel, dime. I don't know that stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy the game for what it is, but I have a basic understanding of the rules enough to enjoy the game.
Yep.
But I mean, when they're saying they're on a nickel defense, shit
Well,
like that, like, you know what I mean?
That's what makes football great, is that it can be enjoyed in multiple different ways.
Exactly.
So,
Where baseball, much different,
Yeah.
right? And still, though, as a little league coach, my knowledge base was much smaller than a college coach, right?
Yep.
And so I get it. So yeah, there's that. But what I find interesting, man, and again, not to go down this rabbit hole, what I find interesting about the whole thing, though, is we have this generalized mistrust lately.
Stigmatism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we mistrust sports. We mistrust government. We mistrust this. We mistrust, and again, I mean, it's another hour-long conversation.
It
But
is.
what I find more concerning, I guess, is that there's that attitude, and it's like you can apply it anywhere, and it seems to be kind of floating. So it's not just, well, the Kansas City Chiefs cheated to get there.
Yeah.
Trump cheated to get in the office, and I don't want to talk about politics.
That's huge. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Though?
And I agree that, and maybe that's why I feel like I'm having to defend NFL refs on here, which I don't want to.
Right.
I do not want. Those guys wouldn't make enough money to not blow them calls.
Right.
I'm on your side, people. Like,
Yeah.
I am, like, 100%. Like, but however, trickle down theory, man.
Yeah, it's just weird
If
to me.
everyone gets used to yelling at refs on the TV, guess what's happening on the football field on Friday night with high school kids?
Yep.
And it's the worst. It's the worst.
Yep.
Because it's more been the parents than it has been the coaches.
Yeah. No,
And
I would
like
agree with that.
like you said, as a society, that's a big issue that we all need to improve on.
Yeah.
So,
And I think we can only do through connection. I think to kind of bring it back, we can only do through connection.
definitely.
So, we've talked about a lot, man. And I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for coming on.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I was like, I can't wait to catch up. Like, I miss doing this.
Yeah.
Like, we used to do this pretty much just like this. We'd be
I
all
think
over the
so.
place and just talk about life. And we would do this probably once or twice a week for a little bit. So
This is different, though, in a sense of, like, it's hard being, because now people are listening back to this. And so to the...
Well, I had to shut that off in order to do this.
Yeah. You're right. And it's just cool. So to find... I guess what I want to say is, one, thank you for coming on, because I think that it's amazing. And two, I really want to emphasize that you're right about the connections. Like, we can only get back to connecting with people if we're willing to have these conversations. And I think that you had said something earlier in the podcast that is so true. Like, we need to be able to listen to people, whether we agree or disagree. It starts there. And so
Not debate.
Yeah, debating
listen.
is different, because you're right. Debating is a competitive
all
sport,
I'm thinking
man.
about, well, especially ADHD, man, all you're thinking about is what you're going to say after they're done talking.
Right.
Did I listen to you the whole time? Absolutely not. I'm just sitting here thinking about what I'm about to say. You got it. You got to sit there and be like, don't think about anything except for every word coming out of their mouth.
Right.
I challenge you to do that with the next person that you disagree with.
Right.
I don't even just say okay and be like, explain that further. Don't even think about what you're gonna say. Just say, explain that further.
Right.
Just sit there.
No, you're so right, man.
And I think that'll change. Human connection will change a lot. If you can do that face to face with someone, the world's gonna be a better place. So.
I couldn't have said it better myself, man.
All right, man.
So, thank you for being on.
Yeah, of course.
Vertigo listeners.
Great time.
Like I was trying to say in the beginning, share this. If this is something that you feel passionate about, share it. All right. Let people know that we're out there. You'll find us on Facebook. We're going to grab some pictures of Andy doing the Grinch thing, so you'll be able to see that. So, Instagram, all that jazz. You can find Vertigo. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We are definitely going to have a part 2 to this conversation. And with that being said, Vertigo Nation, let your head spin.